Hello guys, welcome back to another speed paint. I hope you enjoy, but before we actually start the video, check out this dope background music I found, which sounds a lot like Marathon's music, but is copyright free, which I'm going to play in the background while I'm talking, before I start switching to the regular speed paint music. And I definitely will start using this a lot in my actual theory videos, because it's copyright free and I can use it, and it sounds really cool. But yeah, another speed paint. I think those are more my genre, with the talking at the beginning before I start switching to just the art, because originally I kinda tried to copy the system of Boombop 3D, showing a bunch of art pieces at once and talking a bit about them, but this didn't really fit my theme how I want to produce videos. But I like this a lot more, where I can tell you about the art or just the lore behind it, which will be in this video again, but maybe just go also off topic, for example on how to make good edits, maybe some drawing tips, or I could also could tell some funny real life stories. For example, my school almost burned down one time, but that is a topic for another day. This time I wanted to talk one more time about some of the lore of my characters. Last time it was more about my original OC with her, or basically his backstory, and some fun facts about her. And this time we switch to the Workatron side and talk about Luze, because she is also a very interesting story, in my opinion at least. And just as an important side note, because I'm writing a comic series of Marathons which goes into different universes, that story is completely separate to what I am talking about if I talk about my little AU basically. AU means something like own universe, where you create your own headcanon and stuff. Maybe you know it, maybe you don't. Just wanted to mention that because I forgot to say it the last time, and although there will be some overlapping of these two stories, I want to keep them separate for the most part. But Luze, you already know how she met R4, but what was with the time before and after she met her? So in my story there are like more time periods than in the actual show, because it's kinda like, first we have the time period with the humans, then the core explodes and all the humans are gone, then we have an age where the Workadrons can freely evolve, then we have the time period where the Disassembledrons land, and this is where the actual Murderons show is. But personally, I like to have my story a bit farther behind in the timeline, where Sin notices sending all those Disassembledrons didn't finish the job, so she starts making more experiments and sending monsters to Copper 9 and other stuff to use that to wipe out all the colonies, because in the show all the colonies really don't fight back and just get slaughtered, but over time they start to adapt and actually develop drones that want to fight back against the disassembly drones and also the monsters of Sin, like for example hunter drones, because in the actual show we kinda saw that with Uzi and Thad, that they tried to fight back, versus the other drones just accepted their fate basically. And kinda the colonies not only start to fight the disassembly drones, but also start to fight each other about resources and stuff like that, and they go out there and search the surrounding landscape for supplies and stuff like that. Of course it's always risky with the disassembly drones or other colonies that want to claim their own resources, but I find this story kinda interesting, so the battle isn't as one-sided as it's in the show. And Luze was kinda born in the time frame, maybe a bit earlier. However, I will not confirm any ages, because I know how the Marathons community reacts to this topic.
She's a kid, like us, V! What is wrong with you?
So I just play it safe. But one thing I can confirm, Luze is actually a little bit older than R4, because I think it's kinda funny that R4 is technically younger than Luze, although she's probably like almost 3 feet taller than her. But after some time, the colony of Luze to let R4 sometimes in, if she wishes to do so. But even though most of them hate or are afraid of her, because half of the population of the colony was probably killed by her, but most of the colony decided as long as she's on their side, a disassembly drone killer isn't such a bad thing. But there's one person in particular that is against R4, which is the father of Luze, which he tolerates her. Of course, because he physically can't really do much against her, but the main reason why the dad of Luze hates R4 so much is because one time R4 was cool with the colony. She attacked the mother of Luze and strongly injured her, like blinding her in one eye and tearing off one of her arms, plus multiple claw injuries. And the only reason she's still alive today is because she ran away and was chased by R4 and she tried to hide in abandoned fabric. And now we come to the main point of this video and also one of the major points in my story, in my AU. In this fabric, after the absolute solver was discovered, there were two main projects that was worked on. First, the one in Murderons with the testing of what the solver's capabilities are, and secondly, they tried to profit of the creation abilities from the solver in this fabric. But after the fabric was abandoned, some really creepy and spooky stuff started happening in there, and no one really trusted themselves to go in there, because that is the reason why R4 didn't hunt her inside the fabric, because she actually was scared of what is there inside. But the mother of Luze wasn't aware of this and she tried to hide inside of the fabric, but what she experiences in there traumatized her so much that she starts to be completely paranoid and crazy after she went home. And although she didn't get the abilities of the solver, she started to be obsessed with it and kinda started her own cult worshipping the solver. And what you will notice later in the speed paint, at some point R4 and Luze are going in this fabric, and through some accidents Luze gets a bit of the solver program inside her system, which is basically a clean string, which means it's unaffected by the sin because it's from the fabric and not from the Wakadom project where sin is controlling everything. And kinda that could create something interesting with her mom if she actually has the absolute solver and her mom worships the absolute solver. I don't know, I haven't written the story so far yet, but the last thing I have written before I let the music play is that Luze just wants to live a normal life even after getting infected by the absolute solver, which she constantly ignores that she has the solver and doesn't train it at all. Like Uzi immediately starts to using it, but Luze completely ignores it and also has basically no control over her powers. So sometimes it could happen if she loses control because she's going through a lot of emotional stress. She starts spawning some absolute solver creatures or the tentacles and stuff, but because she isn't controlled by sin, it's just additional limbs for her, but still. It's still dangerous for her because she could injure someone or herself. And a thing I thought of the spot right now, I originally wanted to give her two eye colors because one of the eyes could be the solver and that's why it's white, but maybe because her mom is blind on one eye, that means she kinda inherited that and that's why she has one white eye and one blue eye. I don't know, maybe I'll think of something, but this was basically all the story I've written down so far, except for one or two classmates of Luze maybe I haven't mentioned yet. But anyways, this was all I wanted to tell you. We see us again if I find another way to traumatize my OCs, because who doesn't love that? And enjoy the music.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain. Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how.